and exhaling for a count of 4. And if possible, have a little pause between your in-breath and your out-breath. A little moment before you begin your out-breath. And in this position, we are trying to bring our sit bones back towards our heels. Our feet are flat. And if it is super uncomfortable, the option here is just to sit on your sit bones with your legs crossed in Sukhasana. So whilst you are taking a moment to focus on your breath, Kelly, I have you here for you.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
No, you're okay. While you're taking a moment here to focus on your breath, just tune in and check into your body and how you feel and where you are as well in your head. All the noise, all the narration, the voice in the head, the chitter chatter. So the physical practice of yoga, it is called asana, which is postures. There's 8 limbs of yoga, and this is one of the limbs, the physical practice. Yoga meaning union of your body, your mind, and your breath. And why we practice the physical aspect of yoga is to come away from the narration, come away from the voices, so that you spend most of the time focused on what you're asking your body to do, focusing on your breath, so that you don't have much time for the chitter chatter. Keep on elongating the breath in and out. And then if you have the freedom to do so, try to walk the hands out to the front of your mat, shoulder distance apart, pressing the palms into the mat, spreading your fingers wide like a spider's web. Lengthening the arms, your armpits, the side body. Breathing into your front, side and back ribs. So it's really important in this class, because everybody's different, everybody has something going on inside their bodies that I am not maybe familiar with. So what I ask you to do is listen to your body. And if there's something that you are being shown tonight and it doesn't feel good inside of your body, then just simply don't do it. One more breath, inhale. And on exhale, lift your gaze, look up, walk your hands in, and we're coming into what is called a tabletop position. So we're stacking our shoulders above our wrists and stacking our hips above our knees. Our hands are spread wide like a spider's web with the middle finger pointed to the front of your mat. And your knees and your hands are shoulder and hip distance apart. Good. So from here, we're going to rock our bodies just forward and back, getting familiar with having our weight on our hands and on our knees. And for you, then, if you just want to circle your torso in clockwise position and then anti-clockwise position. And also, guys, for those of you in tabletop, we can also rotate our torso. So taking the weight in different directions, into the hands, into the knees, and then move in the opposite direction. And then come to center, and we're going to rotate our palms, our fingers, all the way around towards our body. So we're rotating away each hand, so we're stretching into the wrists. And again, we're going to rock our body forward and back, but not as big as we did previously. So you're going to take your hands up in front of you, Yvette, and just flex your hands and flop your hands. So just up like this, up and down. Yeah, so you're stretching your wrists. Okay. And then you can circle your wrists, Yvette. And then rotate your fingers all the way around, back to the normal position. And then one more, you can do this, Yvette. We're going to take 2 fists. Bring your 2 fists together. Sitting back on your heels, and then you're going to bring the backs of the hands onto the mat, the backs of the hands, that's it. Then you're going to push the mat away, that's it, so it's a bigger stretch for the forearms into the wrists. Breathe it in, and breathe it out. One more, in, and on the exhale, slowly release, and then just shake it out, shake it out. Good. coming back onto tabletop, spreading the hands out wide. I want you just to take a little bit of attention to your hands and the weight that you're distributing into your fingers and your thumb. So in yoga, we do a lot of poses, a lot of weight bearing on our hands. So it's really important not to take the weight onto the wrist, okay? Not onto the line, the edge of your hand, okay? You have to evenly distribute the weight. So particularly your forefinger and your thumb, taking the weight onto your forefinger and your thumb. Also, some people like to grip, and that's okay too. So bringing the knuckles up towards the ceiling. This is option. This is more when we come into handstand type poses, okay? We'll do that next week. So, but if you see, you might see pictures on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you see the hand positioning like this, that is the reason for it. But for now, we'll just keep the fingers outstretched. But be aware that you're taking the weight onto the fingers and thumb, not just the heel of the hand, okay? Lecture over. So from here, we're going to do cat-cow, Manjarisana. I'm sure you've done this before, and it's probably called different things. So dropping the belly button down, tailbone, head up. Tailbone, sit bones up, head up, spreading the chest wide. So we're working into the movement of the spine, working from the tailbone all the way up to the back of your neck. So you've got 3 different elements of your spine. The bottom part, there's 12 vertebrae, that's called your lumbar spine. And then you work your way up into your thoracic, which is your middle spine. So we're moving cat and cow, so moving through your spine, working from the pelvis. So tilting the tailbone under, pressing your heart up to the spine as you round. This is called cat. And then as you drop the belly button down, the tailbone goes up and the head goes up. So you've got your lumbar, your thoracic, and then your cervical spine, the upper part of your back into the back of the neck. So we are working through the spine. Each vertebrae is creating space just by moving our pelvis. This is where the action begins. And we hug the arms in so that we are using our arms to steady the balance. One more breath. Breathing in as you drop. Head up, tailbone up. And exhale. Letting all the air escape your body. Chin in, tailbone in, rounding your spine. Coming into neutral spine. Tuck the toes with both feet under. And for you, Yvette, if you just stretch your legs out in front. Now we're going to sit back onto our heels. This is icky. When you're not used to stretching your feet, this can feel a little bit icky. So you're going to, flex your feet. And then sitting up onto the balls of your feet. Your toes are tucked under. Try not to think about it too much, okay? So we're going to stretch our arms that we've been weight bearing, and then flip-flop. I need to call this flip-flop. The hands, and then circle one way, and then circle the other way. So toes are a part of your body that is not very often stretched. It's often ignored. But if our feet are not strong, that's the basis of how we walk and stand and hold our bodies. So if our feet are not strong, then that has a ripple effect on the rest of the body. Okay. Coming back onto our hands and knees. Keep the toes tucked under, and then we're going to hover the knees just an inch off the floor. So to do that, you need to draw the navel in a lot. Keep pushing into the floor with the hands, taking the weight not just in the heel of the hand, but the fingers and the thumb. Squeeze. Keep looking down. So I have a habit of looking up, and then people think that's what you do. So I want to watch you, but you keep looking down. So the crown of the head, which is the very top of the head, is in line with your tailbone. Tuck in your tailbone ever so slightly, so that you're not dropping the lower back, the lumbar spine. Good. So now this little flame is starting to take night in your belly. You can feel the heat build. Don't be scared of it. Allow it to build. Be open and accepting of this heat. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One more, slow and steady. Inhale, and on the outhale, lower the knees. Sit back on your heels, give yourself a little break. I'm being very kind. Okay. Breathe in. So there's a few new people here tonight, so we'll not want to scare you. But we're going to come back into it in a second. So in yoga, breathing is through the nose, in and out through the nose. So in yoga we call this, the nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating. In Pilates you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So if you're familiar with Pilates and you practice Pilates, it can be quite difficult to transition and vice versa. So if you're used to yoga breathing, then you go to Pilates, it can be quite tricky. So the reason being for the breathing in and out through the nose is that with your breath you heat your body internally, okay? And we want to keep that heat in our bodies so that our muscles can expand and stretch and strengthen, okay? There are different types of breathing techniques. We'll do one at the end of the class tonight. But the breathing in yoga is called pranayama. So prana meaning life force and yama meaning extension. So extension of your life, which is fabulous. So bringing our hands back to our tabletop position. Tuck the toes, not hang around here too long. Hover the knees. And now we're going to ask our bodies a little bit more. So we can stay here if this is enough. We are feeling this quite a lot, then you can hang out here. Otherwise, keeping this tabletop position, 90-degree angle with your legs, you're going to extend your right leg out behind. Keep that left knee lifted. Don't allow it to drop. Good. Holding it there. Breathe in. And on the exhale, place the right foot back down. Keep the right knee hovered. Then extend the left leg out. Keep that 90-degree angle with the right. Don't lift the hips are low. You're still on your tabletop. One more breath, breathe in. And exhale, place it back down. Don't drop those legs. And then lift the hips up. Keep the knees bent. This is a modified Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. Knees are bent. Toes, if you check them out by looking at them, should be in line with your heels, hip distance apart. Your hips are your highest points. This is an inversion. That's it. Yep, don't be afraid to look. Sorry, Kelly. Look at the distance or the space between your knees. And we have different points in yoga, and we call them, for our focus, we call them drishti. So your drishti is your focus, and we look at the space between our knees. Our hips are high. Now what are we doing with our hands? We press our hands into the mat like we did in tabletop. Fingers and thumb, slow breath in, slow breath out. Keep the knees bent. We want elongation of the spine. Belly in, ribs in. Slow and steady. One more breath, breathe in. And on the exhale, lower the knees. Take a wee break. So it can be a little bit disconcerting. So if you sit back on the sit bones a bit, it can be a little bit disconcerting going upside down when we're not used to it, yeah? Our heads up in the sky all day long. So when we then start to do this, the blood goes from the heart to the head and whoo, okay? So it's really important when that happens not to panic. I know it's easier said than done. It's like, oh my god, I feel dizzy, I'm going to class. You aren't. It's just your body getting familiar with a new position, okay? Lying, unless you have a disposition to faint, yeah, that's a different thing altogether. So let me know if that is the case. Okay, you can go. No, but it can be a little bit disconcerting, as I said. So just breathe and focus your gaze. So if you have the tendency to look around, then you will have a more increase of the head getting dizzy, okay? When you are practicing Adho Mukha Shavasana, we start with the knees bent because what's important, rather than having the legs straight, what the tendency is in to round the spine. So having the knees bent allows the spine to elongate. Press it into the fingers on the thumb so that if I asked you to lift the heel of your hand, you'll be able to hold the position without having an impact on the hips or the legs. Also, fixing your gaze on a spot, hug the forearms in, rotate the biceps. So the biceps, rotate them away from one another so that the triceps hug in. And what that does is it creates space in your upper back. So a lot of people, what they do as well, it's hard to show you and do it, is they're hugging their shoulders to their ears and their shoulder blades are back like this. And then what happens is the ribs come forward and the tailbone sticks up. We want to tuck in the tailbone, ribs in, belly in, rotate the biceps away, knees are bent, and looking at the space between your knees. And breathe. Okay. Let's go back to tabletop. We're going to do this one more time. And when we are holding a pose, we like to hold them for 5 breaths. So that's 5 breaths in, 1 in and out is 1 breath. In and out 2. Okay? So tuck the toes with both feet under, knees hip distance apart. Lift the knees away, and then hips up high. Coming into your inverted feet. Maria, just step back about an inch with your feet. Yeah, you're too close. That's it. Drishti, look at the space between your knees. Focus on your hands. Wait until the fingers on your thumb. Hug the forearms. Rotate your biceps. Hug your triceps in. Creating space in your upper back. Ribs in. Belly in. Heels in the direction of the floor. Even though the knees are bent, we can still bring our heels down. So we're not coming onto the balls of the feet. Heels are down. Knees are bent. That's it. I'm sure we're on probably breath 4. That's one thing about yoga teachers, we cannot count. One more time. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower knees to the mat. Now from here, we're going to step up with the hands. So now the hands are no longer underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to rock our body forward, coming into what is called half plank. We're going to micro bend the elbows back. So quick discussion about elbows. You're going to hear me shout this loud. Elbows in, elbows in. So this is the reason being. When you are here, you're still shoulder distance apart. When you rock your body, your shoulders should be over your wrist. Now, when we are lowering our torso to the mat, if we do it with the elbows out, it's going to hurt your wrists, okay? So you want to, this is called a yoga press up. You want to hug these in like mad, like 2 magnets, and lower, lower, lower. Elbows going back, back, back. Good, that's it, Isabel. Lower the torso all the way down. That's it, kid. Good. Hands either side of your chest. Now, quick discussion about prone position. So currently you're in prone position, and I know your head is lifted, but we want the forehead onto the mat, but you just want to look and listen. When you're in prone position, it's all to do with stretching the back, extension of the spine. I want you to, when we start to lift up away from the floor, the most important element is to squeeze your tush, okay? I want you to tuck in your tailbone. So what I mean by that is, I'm exaggerating here, tailbone's up in the air. I want you to tuck it in towards the floor, draw the navel in, squeeze those bum cheeks, like you want something to skip, okay? Take your hands either side of your chest, elbows are hugged in, and then you lift your heart away from the floor. This is called cobra. Shoulders might be here, because there might be a weakness in the arms. We try to bring the shoulder blades back and down, so you can see all your beautiful swan necks. And then melt the chest back down. Okay, we'll do that again with the breath. Breathe in, don't lift anything, just squeeze your tush, tuck in your tailbone, squeeze the belly in, hug those elbows in, that's all done in one breath in, and on the exhale, then push into the floor with your hands, lift your heart, squeeze that tush, don't let it escape, good, inhale, hold it here, exhale, lower. We're going to do that 2 more times, I want to watch. Inhale, don't lift, squeeze the tush, tuck in your tailbone, elbows in, belly in, exhale, lift. Start to push into the floor with your hands, lift your heart. So we're not straightening up the arms, guys, we're keeping the elbows bent, hug them in, shoulders right from the ears. If we're straight, that's upward dog, this is cobra, elbows bent. So we're using our triceps. Inhale, hold, exhale, lower. One more time for luck. Inhale, don't lift, squeeze, belly, tailbone, and lift, exhale. Don't come all the way up, just cobra, hug those elbows in. Good, that's it. Lift your heart, shoulders right from the ears. Inhale, hold, exhale, lower. Fantastic. Good. I love when mine was getting right. Anyway, so from here, we're going to tuck the toes of both feet under. We're going to push up into our lovely half plank. So tuck the toes under. Same action in the, I call it the corset area. The corset area. Tuck in your tailbone. Navel in, and then push the floor away. Half plank. Toes are tucked, because guess what's happening next? We're lifting our knees for full plank. Full plank. Now, full plank we don't sink, we lift. So tuck in your tailbone even here. That's it. Heart towards your spine. Belly in, and you can, if it's too much of full plank, you can drop the knees for half plank. Hips are not high. Hips are not high. But they're not sinking either. We don't want to sink and ship. Okay, tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, breathe. Looking at the space between your hands, and if you're shaking, good. Muscles are engaged. One more breath. I always say that, because I like. And then slowly lower the knees. Sit back on your knees. Sit back on your knees. Good. Starting to feel warm? Good. Okay. So far we've broken down, we've done tabletop, warmed up the spine, then we've come forward, half plank, lower, this is called chaturanga by the way, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, cobra, tuck the toes under, push up, and then plank. So this is part of what we call Surya Namaskar, okay, sun salutation. There's 12 poses. So we're breaking it down slowly, but these are doing fantastic, so we're going to keep going. From plank, this is where it can get fun. I like to call this fun, because I'm sick. So up here is downward dog, okay? The hardest part of Surya Namaskar is the transitions, is to step up. So you step up, and then you bring it back. You step up, and you bring it back. That can be a little bit tricky to maneuver the legs up and down and up and down. So we're going to grab our blocks so that we can create a little bit of height from the floor to you. Place in your hands as if you were on the floor. So the same idea, the middle finger towards the front of the mat on your block, okay? So your little finger and your thumb might go over the edge, and that's okay. Starting in tabletop position, tuck the toes of both feet under, hover the knees, and lift the hips. Modified downward dog. Heels towards the mat, knees are bent. Now, lift your gaze, look towards the front of your mat. From here, you're going to take a big step up with your right. Place the foot down between your hands, as far up as you can. Now, if you find that that foot is too stubborn, it won't go up on its own. If you're here, you get halfway, grab a hold of your ankle or calf with your right hand and help guide it up, okay? By literally holding onto it. And then from here, this back leg can be bent. It doesn't have to be straight. It can be bent to begin with. And then you're going to take a big step back into downward dog, just to get used to it. Then we're going to take a big step up with the left towards the front of your mat. Good, 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 good. And then take a big step back. We're going to do that a couple more times, okay, to get into the hips and into the legs. Breathe in, lift your gaze. Exhale, step up, squeeze, and then take it back. Breathe in, lift your gaze, step up, lift. Take it back. Okay, can we up the pace? Right, downward dog, left, downward dog, right, downward dog, left, downward dog. Run. It's called runner's lunge. Step back, left. Good. One more each side, right? Breathe. Back. And then left. Good. And then downward dog. Get our hips up high. We've got the elevation now with the bricks. Keep our knees bent. Press the hands into the mat. Rotate your biceps. Hug your triceps in. Ribs in. Belly in. Breathe in. Lift your gaze. Last time. Step up with the right, followed by the left. Now turn your blocks around to the high side. Place your hands on your blocks. Feet are hip distance apart, toes in line of heels. And allow your torso to hang like a rag doll over your two bent legs. Good. Now if you feel secure, you can take your hands away from the blocks and hold on to your opposite elbow. So your right hand holds on to your left elbow, your left hand holds on to your right, and just hang it here. And perhaps even introduce a little sway from side to side. Sway the body, allow the head to be heavy. These are options, so listen to your body. Maybe you just want to stay still. Feet are hip distance apart, toes in line with heels. One more breath, breathe in. And on exhale, release the hold of your elbows. If you want, you can still hold on to the bricks or bring your hands to the floor. Now, close your eyes. Visualize and see your tailbone. That's the bone that sticks out at the very base of your spine. See it now. You want to roll up from that tailbone. And as I discussed before, there's 3 parts of your spine. So you want to start at your lumbar spine. Each vertebrae, you want to stack one at a time. Your head will come last. So you're engaging your tummy, rolling slowly up, stacking each part of your spine one on top of the other, relaxing your arms all the way to standing. And keep your eyes closed. Standing in yoga is called Tadasana, mountain. So I want you to visualize a mountain. Is the base of a mountain soft? It's rock solid. So that's your feet. I want you to root your feet into your mat. So you're creating an imprint. I want you to lift all of your 10 toes off the mat. So by doing so, you will feel the ball of your inner ball press even more into the mat. Then think to the outer front part of your foot. Press it into the mat. Then your inner heels and your outer heels. That's called the 4 parts of your feet. Now lower your toes. And now you're really feeling the feet into the mat. Lift your knees and squeeze your thigh muscles to your thigh bone. Tuck in your tailbone. Draw the navel in. Lift your ribs away from your hips so you're creating space. Lift your heart. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms by your side. The crown of the head to the ceiling. And this is just standing. Beautiful posture. Wow. So from here, I just want you to take your hands, we call this Kali Mudra. Hands come together in prayer. Your thumb touches your heart. And your heart is lifted, your eyes closed. Set your intention. Set a little positive affirmation, usually 3 words, and repeat it to yourself. We do this just near the beginning of the class to set our mind what way we want to perform or act or behave in certain ways. And hopefully it is positive. And when we repeat it to ourselves, it will become imprinted in our mind and in our heart. So from here, blink your eyes open. Inhale. Exhale. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Reach and bring the hands together. So this is called extended mountain. And then you're going to dive. So the hands come apart, whoosh them away as if you're coming through muddy waters, and dive forward. Legs are straight until you need to bend them. Straight spine all the way over your legs. Fold. Hands can come to the blocks or to the floor. Bend your knees. Come up halfway, straighten your legs and straighten your spine. Just have your hands touching your shins, just for placement of where to put your arms rather than just having them hanging here. And then from here, fold over so that you're bringing your front body to rest on your thighs, hands to the floor. Now this is where we do our practice of stepping back. So hands can come onto your blocks. Step back with your right. This is called runner's lunge. Good, so your hands are on your blocks. And then step back with your left into a plank. We'll do the modified this evening, so we're going to drop our knees, half plank. So the hips are not back here, the hips are in line with our shoulders. We're not sinking the hips, so we're not dipping down, collapsing the pelvis to the floor. With control, hug those forearms in, the elbows go to the back of your mat as you lower your front body all the way down to the mat. Roll the shoulders back with your breath in, squeeze your tush, tuck in your tailbone, and on the exhale, lift your heart. Keep those elbows bent, keep them in towards your torso. Good, relax the legs behind. It's all in that back, extension of the back, and then lower the torso back down. Tuck the toes under, squeeze the bum cheeks, tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, half plank, push up. Good. Lift the knees, plank, lift the hips up, downward dog. Breathe in, exhale. That's one breath. 4 more, just like that. Inhale 2. Bend your knees, bring your heels towards the mat. You're slipping and sliding. 2 more. Inhale. Keep your knees in line with your hips, in line with your ankles. 1 more. Inhale. And on the exhale, lift your gaze, bend your knees. Now you might need your blocks. This is where you're going to step up. Practice. Step up with your right. Step up with your left. Forward fold. Forward fold. So you stepped up with your right, followed by the left. Forward fold. So the weight is on the feet. You're taking the weight on the feet. And then we're going to come into half lift. Hands to the shin. Straight spine, straight legs. Draw the navel in a lot. Lift your gaze. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Hover just like a ragdoll. And then you're going to swoop the arms up. Straighten the legs, straighten the spine. To come all the way back up to extended mountain. And then bring your arms and your hands down through your midline. Back to your heart. So that's 1 round. Breathe in. Extended mountain. Exhale. Swan dive. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. It's all about alignment. Inhale, half lift. Straighten the spine, straighten the legs, look up. Good. Exhale, fold. Hands to your blocks. Hands to your blocks. Now, big step back this time with your left. Runners lunge. And then you're going to follow it through with your right. Now, if it's too much, you can always drop your left knee and then step back with your right knee. So you're already in tabletop, walking the hands back. So these are options. You're here, step back, 1, 2, plank. Then we're going to drop our knees into half plank. Elbows, hug them in and lower the torso down. So the inside of your arms should be rubbing against the outside of your torso. Keeping your hands where they are, take them off the blocks. Where they are beside your chest, and then squeeze the two, tuck in the tailbone, lift the heart, use the hands, relax the legs, don't have them lifting, and then melt the chest back down. Exhale. Inhale, tuck the toes under, tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, push up. Half plank, lift the knees, plank, lift the hips up, downward dog. Feet hip distance apart, knees are bent, hips are high. Heels towards the floor, heels towards the floor. That's it, Margaret. Lovely position. Breathe in for 2. Slow and steady. Exhale. Inhale for 3. Dressing, focus between your knees. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 5. And on the exhale, lift your gaze, grab your blocks. Don't be afraid, place your hands on the blocks. Trust me, it'll help. And then a big step up with your left towards the front of the mat. Big step up with your right. Now these are options. You can turn your block to the high side, having your hands for support, fold over. Half lift, hands come to the shins. Straighten the spine, straighten the legs, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Straighten the legs, straighten the spine. The arms come out. All the way to extend up mountain coming out of your hips. And then hands to your heart. Hands to your heart. Good. Hands to your waist. Take your weight over to your left foot and step back with your right. So we're step back about 4 feet. Everybody's going to be different. So everybody's different height. So what we're doing here, this is crescent position. The front knee bends, the back leg is straight. Now, that is standard. If you need to bend the back knee, bend the back knee. The back heel is lifted, but all 10 toes are facing the front of your mat, okay? Now, if balance is not your friend, okay, so you just feel like you're not very steady on this position, widen your stance so you can heel toe the front foot out, so it makes the distance a little bit more secure. Hold in this position. Hands are still on your waist, and you're going to have your shoulders above your hips. So you're not coming forward, you're not going back, sideways, okay? So we're not rocking and rolling all over the shop. Shoulders is above the hips. Tuck in the tailbone. Draw the navel in. So this area here I refer to as our corset. So it keeps everything secured. Bend that front knee because the standing postures is all about strength. So if the knee is bent and we want to bend it deeply, we will strengthen our quads even more. The aim in crescent is to have a 90-degree angle with this left leg, back leg is straight. From here, we're going to take our arms, but we're working towards it. We're going to take our arms up to the ceiling, shoulder distance apart. And when we take our arms up, what happens? The ribs want to come forward. So remember our corset, it has to keep everything secure. So bring the ribs in. If it's too much with the arms up, keep the arms on the waist. I've mentioned this several times before. I do not give out gold medals. You do not have to prove yourself to me. And if it gets too much, don't do it. That's it. Good. Lovely. Now, when you're here and you're hanging out here and you're like, what the fuck? You just breathe. Because this is all about strength. One more breath. Breathe in. And then on the exhale, we're going to drop that back heel. It's going to rotate round to the right. And when you rotate it round to the right hip goes as well. That's okay. Take the right shoulder with it. Don't move the left foot and knee. And then shoot the arms out. This is called Warrior 2. Back leg is straight. So lift the knee, squeeze the thigh muscle to the bone. That's it. And then look at your left knee. If it's gone beyond the ankle, it's far too far. Bring it back. Have the knee over the ankle. So you might need to widen your stance. That's it. Bend that knee. Needs to be bent for it to strengthen. Just take it in ever so much. That's it. Now I'm going to hold you here. Can you bend it? That's okay. Does that feel secure? Now if I take my hands away, you're going to hold it there? Okay. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Tuck in the tailbone. Draw the navel in. Everybody take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, relax your shoulders. Don't drop the arms. Don't drop the arms. Keep the arms up. But just, I want to see your necks. That's it. Just drop the shoulders. Turn your gaze, your drifting is your left middle finger down, okay? Because what happens, we're learning, we start to look around the room. So then the focus is not on us, it's on everybody else. And they're not going to do you any favours. So focus in on you. Don't worry about what other people's doing. Good. Energy out through the fingertips. Breathe. Arms are shoulder height. One more breath. Breathe in. Now from here, the legs don't move. The legs don't move. I know you're burning, but enjoy it. Right hand goes to the back thigh. Rotate the left and reach it up to the sky. This is called reverse warrior. Breathe in. Legs don't move. And on the exhale, we're going to swoop left elbow to the left thigh. Now if it's too much, just bring the hand to the thigh. Elbow to the thigh. So you have to bend, stretch over. Now this right shoulder wants to come forward. Don't allow it. So we're rotating the right shoulder back, right ribs back. Right hand can stay on the waist, option 1. Option 2, right hand to the ceiling. Option 3, the full version, over the head. Palm faces down. Good. Bend into that left knee. Sink the hips. Good. Breathe. Palm faces down. Now our drishti in this point is the palm of the hand. Now if the arm's up straight, it's the thumb. And if the arm's on the waist, you look down at your left big toe. Good. Breathe. And if the thighs are talking, it's not going to last forever. But maybe it will, depending on my form. And then from here, breathe in. Squeeze the belly in, squeeze the tush. Rotate the torso. Back to warrior 2. Did you straighten that left leg? Did anybody straighten that left leg? I have to do it all again. From here, I know I'm evil, pure evil. Take your hands to your waist, lift the back heel, the right heel away from the floor, rotate the right hip round. Do not straighten that left leg. Lean forward into the left foot, and then a big step up with the right. Yeah, good. I'm getting dirty now. Okay. So now you know what's ahead of you. It's grand, it's grand. It's not going to last forever. So take the weight to the right foot, step back with the left. Bend into that right knee. Big step back. And again, heel toe the front foot out to widen the stance if balance is not your friend. Otherwise, we're working on railway tracks, so that's the distance of the legs. All 10 toes are facing the front of your mat. We're not rotating anything out. This is crescent legs. Hands can stay on your waist or reach them up. Shoulder distance apart, palms face one another. Fix your gaze at a point beyond out front. Something that doesn't move, another 12 branches out there. This is stormy night like autumn. You wouldn't think it was June. Good. Ribs in, belly in, tuck the tailbone. And try to keep that back leg straight. Good. By lifting the knee, squeezing the thigh. I know it's hard. Focus on your breath. Don't punch me. If your arms are extended, you want to lift. So these are opposing elements of the body. The top half is reaching up, the bottom half is sinking down. So we're working dynamically against one another. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the exhale, we're moving into warrior 2. So right, left shoulder, left hip, left heel rotates round. Right knee doesn't move. Open the arms, shoulder height, palm faces down. Rotate your nose, look at your right middle finger. Tuck in your tailbone. Draw the navel in, ribs in, corset, shoulders away from the ears without collapsing the arms. Good. Open the knee to the left. Or to the right. Sorry, don't know my way from my left. Open the knee to the right. Good. So then you have to really press your right big toe, the right heel into the mat. Just have a wee look down at your toe, Isabel. Just, yes, that's it. Okay, because if you keep repeating the knee, it'll hurt the knee. Good. Breathe. I know. It's fine. Those corners of your mouth goes up as well as down. One more breath. And then from here, left hand to the thigh. Right hand rotates up, and then reach up. So it's a little bit of a side back bend hybrid. That's it, good. So legs don't move, the left hand creeping down the left leg. One more breath, breathe in. And on the exhale, rotate the torso. So you want to reach the right shoulder, forward, forward, forward. Then rest the elbow onto the thigh. Left hand goes up and over the head as the full option, just to the sky, or keep it on the waist. What's happening here with the torso? The ribs, the top ribs is rotating back, and the bottom ribs, the right ribs are rotating forward. So again, opposing directions, but this will help with the rotation. The back knee is lifted, squeeze the thigh, press the outside edge of your left foot into the mat to extend the leg. Okay. Just do squat. So you're strengthening the legs. One more breath. Keep opening up the knee, keep opening up the knee. Good. And then from here, rotate round to warrior two, hands to your waist. Lift the back heel, rotate all the way around to the front. Lean forward, so loading into that right thigh, and then lift the back toes away to the front. Good, shake it out, shake it out. Easier on that side because you know what was happening, yeah? Okay, good. So, a little bit of a balance pose. Balance sometimes can be very disconcerting, and there's umpteen reasons, because we don't often stand on one foot, so it's something that we're not familiar with. Also, sometimes, which happened to me a few weeks ago, I had vertigo, your inner ear can be imbalanced. You could be going through your life with this imbalance in your ear and don't even know, but when it comes to the sat on the leg, you're like wobbling all over the place, you're like, oh, I can't balance. So what I would say is, if you are somebody who, when you lift your leg away and you wobble like this, rather than doing that, just keep your toes on the floor and try to stay still, so that you are giving the body an opportunity for the neural messages. As part of the nervous system, the neural messages are constantly sending messages to the brain, asking the brain what it's meant to do, how it's to function. So if you are balancing and you're like this, then the neural messages go like this, okay, like a rave. So we want to give it a chance to go, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then maybe lift your toes away and back down. Lift your toes away and back down. This is only for some people who do find balance. These could all be super duper balancers here, I don't know, but it's just to give you the heads up. Okay. So I did this with my lovely gentle ladies this morning, and they really put me to shame, because I did this about 3 times and I dropped it all over the shop. And they didn't. So I know you can do it. We're going to just lift the right leg away from the floor. Okay, everybody grab a block, sorry, I should have said. Sorry, just hanging out here in the block. So take the weight onto the left foot and lift your right knee up towards the ceiling. Just a roughly 90-degree angle. You're going to place the block on your thigh. As best you can, not like me. And then take your hand away. Holding it here. Then, you're going to open the knee to the right. Open the knee to the right. Squeeze, lifting out of your hips. And it doesn't matter how far over to the right it goes, just a wee bit. And then bring it back to center. Keep lifting the knee up, don't let it collapse. And then to even go hell for leather, we're going to straighten out the right leg. Squeeze, lift, bend, and then lower. Super duper balancers. Fantastic. We're going to do it on the left side. Okay? So, having just done it, do you feel it in your left glute? So it just goes to show you what you have to engage in order to hold a position. So when you are, say for example, in this position, and then we go to warrior 3, this left glute needs to work in order to hold this leg up, okay? So this is giving you an example of something so simple as lifting the knee, how much you're engaging your glutes in order to do that, okay? Also what I would say is, there's a little muscle in your backside called the piriformis, and it is a wee naughty muscle, and it gets very tight, especially if you're someone who runs or walks, and then you start to get aches in your hips or aches in your lower back. Mostly it could be from your psoas muscle, it's like part of your hip flexor, connects your upper body to your lower half, but also your piriformis gets tight. So what you do in order to take the pressure away from the piriformis is you strengthen your glutes, okay? So just to There is a reason behind all of these poses and the structure of yoga. It's not just doing fancy poses, putting your legs behind your head and all that kind of stuff. There is a reason behind all of what we do. We're not just all mental people. Okay, taking the weight over to the right foot and then left knee up towards the ceiling. Take your block, place it on your thigh, and then what I like to do in balance in particular is rather than sink down, lift up. So tuck in the tailbone, lift out of your hips. So really push into the floor with that right foot. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Squeeze the belly in, and then slowly bring the knee over to the left. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then slowly bring it back. Keep lifting out of the hips, draw the navel in, and then extend the leg. And bend. And lower. Did somebody cheat? That's okay. I thought I was being clever by introducing the block, because normally my back is to everybody and I don't use the block, and then I'm like, how did you do it? Oh yeah, yeah. So then I added the block thinking if it drops, I'll know. But no, you just anyways, no, you're grand. So you place your block down. One more balance before we come to the floor. So we're going to take the weight over to the left foot. You can take your left hand on your waist. This is tree for Kasana. Take your right heel away from the floor and rotate your right knee out to the right. Place the sole of the foot on just your ankle. Now, this might be enough. Now, if even here and you're wobbling, just bring the toes to the floor but have the knee out to the right. Good. From here, you can slide your foot up to the calf, but not your knee. Leave some place on your knee. And then, if you're really comfortable and you feel okay, then bring it up to your inner thigh, pressing the foot to the thigh to the foot. And then everybody take your hands in prayer once again. Anjali Mudra. Good. Holding it there. Keep lifting out of the hips, crowning the head. Stay there. I didn't mean to put you off. Good. Breathe. That's beautiful. Try not to put the foot on the knee. Not on the knee, because it's the weakest part of the leg. One more breath. Breathe in just the calf. The calf is fine. And then slowly bring the knee back to center and release. Good. Good. Other side. Taking the weight over to the right foot. Right hand on the wrist. Rotate the left knee out to the left, placing the heel just on the ankle, and then lift the foot. Slide it up just to the calf below the knee. Option 1. Option 2. Take a hold and place it to the inner thigh, pressing the thigh to the foot to the thigh, and then hands to your heart. Lifting your heart up, just as you did at the start of the class, in Tadasana Mountain. Holding it there. Beautiful, beautiful. Breathe, belly in, keep lifting out of the hips, gorgeous. Hold it there, one more, breathe in. And on the exhale, bring the knee to center, and then release. Fab. Breathe in, we're coming down to the floor. Inhale, reach up, extend up mountain. Exhale, swan dive. Coming out of your hips, straight spine, straight legs, fold, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Lower your right knee to the floor, and then your left knee. We're going to swing the feet out to one side, to then come onto our sit bones. Bring the legs all the way to the front. Now this is where I use a full block. Dank wonky hips, and I need to elevate my hips. If I don't, I have a tendency to collapse into my lumbar spine. I would say the majority of people, it's really beneficial to sit on a block. So how you sit on it is just your sit bones go to the very edge, and it just elevates your sit bones ever so slightly up away from the floor. Good. So rather than being plonked right into the hole of the block, you're just using the very edge to sit over the edge. The legs are straight, so in standing position, it's called Tadasana, mountain pose. Seated mountain is Dandasana. Feet are flexed, legs are together. Legs are together. Now, in every rule in yoga, rules are meant to be broken. If this is uncomfortable, then take the legs apart and bend the knees. Keep the feet flexed, okay? So that, again, it's all within your messages, what we're asking our bodies to do. Keep the feet flexed, and eventually you can work the backs of the legs to the mat. Sit up tall, coming out of your hips, ribs in, belly in. Reach the arms up. Inhale. And on the exhale, coming forward with your heart, not your arms. It's not about getting to the toes. Coming forward with your heart. Place your hands either side of your leg so you have a nice elongated spine. We're not lifting our chin so that we are creasing or cutting off the back of our neck. Keep the toes tucked under, and your dressing is your gorgeous feet. So you can look at your big toes. See how beautiful they are. And as we're not moving, as you don't have to balance or hold any position, I tend to close my eyes in the seated postures, just so when I breathe, I can just remind myself not to be tense, not to squeeze the muscles tight. Although we are somewhat active, it is also somewhat passive. So we're stretching and lengthening the backs of the legs, pressing them into the mat, and bringing our heart forward so that our spine is nice and long. Arms are soft, and breathe. And as I said, just close the eyes, breathe into this position. This is called Paschimottanasana, forward fold over two legs. So the difference between the seated and the standing forward fold is when you're standing, you have a little bit of gravity on your side, whereas in the seated, you have to use your core muscles, your back muscles, to bring the torso forward. One more breath, breathe in. And on the exhale, slowly lift the torso up. And then we're going to scoot off our block, take the block to one side, scoot our bums all the way forward, and then take the feet hip distance apart. Take your hands underneath your knees, knees to the ceiling, so the knees and the feet are hip distance apart. And then bring your heart forward, so you're lengthening your spine, relaxing your shoulders, and then lean back, lean back. You're going to take your feet away from the floor, so you're bringing your legs into you, and then lift your feet in line with your knees. Flex your toes or flights. Snap, crack, pop. So from here, option here is keep hold of that the knees for security, or the thighs I should say, or take your hands away. Spine is long, heart is open, squeeze the belly in. Beautiful. This is called Uttanavasana. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. 20 more breaths. Inhale, one more. You can do it. Exhale, slowly. Hands to the thighs and lower. I know, I'm pure ego. And then scoot the bum one more time, even closer to the front of your mat. Holding onto your thighs. You're going to start from the lower back, rolling all the way down onto the mat, bringing your chin into your chest, and then holding onto your thighs, bring your knees into your chest. And then you can either keep your knees on your thighs or bring your hands on top of your knees or your shins. Squeeze the knees in. Spine is long. Crown of the head to the back of your mat. And then rock your body from side to side. Rock your body side to side. Slow and steady breath. Back to center. One more stretch of the legs. Lower the soles of the feet to the mat. And then you're going to take the right knee into the chest, hold onto the top of the knee, squeeze it into you with both of your hands interlaced or underneath the knee, and then extend the left leg away. Flex your left foot, left heel to the floor, and then circle your right ankle. Good. Relax the shoulders, try not to have the shoulders up to the ears. Circle in one direction and then the other direction. Then slide, relax the right foot, slide the left heel back up, and then try to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Hold it onto the back of the thigh, interlace your hands, and then slide your hands along the back of the leg. Wherever they may land, just put the pressure to bring your right leg a wee bit closer towards you. That's it. Keeping your left foot and sit bone, or the left foot on the mat and your left sit bone on the mat, so that you're not lifting the hips away. One more breath, breathe in. And on the exhale, bring your arms and your hands just by your sides, keeping the left leg, or right leg, sorry, up towards the ceiling. And then with control, you're going to lower the right leg all the way down to the mat. With control. Just don't plonk it down. That's it. Good. And then slide the right heel up and change sides. Take the left knee into the chest, hold it onto the top of the knee, squeeze it to you, and then extend the right leg away. Flex the right foot, and then circle the left. Clockwise. the left foot, slide the right heel back up, right knee to the ceiling, and then extend the left leg to the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your left leg, slide your hands off the leg as far as they may go, it doesn't matter where they land, and then with the weight of the hands on the back of the leg, bring in the leg closer to you, maybe a millimetre, that's okay. But your right foot is on the floor, because it's there for support, the right knee is to the ceiling. Relaxing the shoulders. Try not to tense too much in the face or the shoulders. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the exhale, release the hands to the floor. Keep control with the left leg as you lower it slowly back down onto the mat. Draw the navel in. And then, the very last time, slide the left heel up towards your sit bones. Good. Now we're going to come up to seated so that we can wrap ourselves up. So I just want to quickly show you a few options to come up. The option that we use at the very end of the class is to reach the right arm up and over, roll over into your right side, left hand comes to the floor in front of your heart, and then you push the floor away to come up. That's option one. Option two is the hands go behind the thighs, and then you use the bottom half of your legs to roll up. That's it. And then option three is to cross your feet, make a diamond shape underneath the buttocks, and then push the floor away. So these are just options that you safely come up to see it. Wrap yourself up, that's it, Elizabeth. Wrap yourself up, and we're going to do a wee bit of relaxation. The worst part of the class. So yeah, don't be afraid to put on your socks and your jumpers. And if you want to bring a sleeping bag next week, optional. At this part of the class, although you might feel a little bit warm at the moment, maybe less warm than you did at the middle of the class, but you do tend to cool down quickly. And what happens when you cool down quickly, you then start to feel cold, and you can then say, oh, I'm cold, how long more is this going to last? And that kind of diverts your attention from what we're trying to achieve. So it is important, if you do have a tendency to be cold and feel uncomfortable cold, to wrap up. So this position here is called Shavasana, and the English interpretation is corpse pose. We tend not to use it too often. So the aim here is to relax, is to feel comfortable, where you don't feel a need to move and fidget. So kind of standard practice is the palms are rotated up to the ceiling, the arms are a few inches away from your body, your toes are rotated away from one another, and again a few inches away from one another. You roll your shoulders ever so slightly back so that your heart is elevated. The back of the head is rested on the floor or on a pillow, whatever feels good for you. And if anybody has any issues with their lower back, you're more than welcome to place a bolster underneath your knees or to keep your knees bent. So with all of that laid bare, we're going to focus on our breath. Just like we did at the start of the class. When we arrived, we placed our mat on the floor, I got you into a child's pose position, and then I said, listen to your breath. And it's exactly the same. We're going to end the class by just focusing on your breath. And sometimes that can be hard to do because we start thinking about when is this over? I can't believe how perhaps hard it was or easy it was. And all of this voice starts to come back again in control. So we want to take that control away from the voice by just listening and connecting to the ebb and flow of our breaths. Breathe it in, filling our lungs, our chest with fresh oxygen. And then as we exhale, we let go. We release that tension, that grip, that hold. And if you're someone where the mind is just so busy, give yourself a little mantra. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. you are now fully supported by the floor, so your body can become weightless. You are giving your body and your mind permission to relax. Relax and let go. Take your awareness to the crown of your head and relax the crown of your head, the back of your head, the sides of your head, forehead. Relax your frown lines, your eyebrows, eyebrow center, eyelids, eyes, nose, nostrils, cheeks, ears, chin, mouth. Unclench your teeth. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your jaw. Relax your throat and your neck. The tops of your shoulders, collarbones. Relax your chest and your heart. Relax your front ribs, side ribs, back ribs, your abdomen, belly, belly button. Relax your hips, pelvis, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, the tops of your feet, your two big toes, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, soles of your feet, heels, Achilles, calves, the backs of your knees, hamstrings, buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your shoulder blades, your shoulders, your armpits, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists. Relax the heel of your hands, thumbs, forefingers, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back of your hands and the palm of your hands. Relax your arms and your legs, your torso and your head. Relax your muscles, your tendons, ligaments, fascia. Relax your organs, every cell and every fiber, completely relaxed. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. All water reaches the ocean. The only direction it takes is surrender. The underwater seagrass is moved by it. Its blades participate in the dance and succumb to the whirlpools. The human experience is a tunnel. We journey through these bodies from one light to the next. Just as the tomato and the poplar share a common soil, we all share the same source. For a moment, let your eyelids be bed sheets, putting your soul to sleep. Release your thoughts from the riverbanks. Just as a gentle Colorado takes the Grand Canyon with it, let this moment's flow take you and rest in this now. This now, and this now. Smile through the widening mouth of this moment and let the notion of being embrace you with its widespread arms. little and little. Slide your heels one at a time with your eyes closed, all the way up to your sit bones, knees to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. Take a moment here, allowing your spine to adjust. When you're ready, take your knees into your chest, holding on to either the top of your knees or underneath. Give them a gentle squeeze, lengthening your spine with your eyes closed, and rock your body from side to side. Coming to center, reach your right arm up and over your head, and again with your eyes closed, just feeling your way roll over onto your right side. Placing your left hand on the floor in front of your heart, but just stay here. Allow your heart to settle in its natural position. And feeling your way with your eyes closed. Push into the floor with your left hand, coming up into a seated position. You can cross your legs or straighten your legs. But lift your spine, keep your spine nice and long, and bring your hands together in prayer. Rub the palms together and feel a lot of heat in your hands. And then place your palms over your eyes. Open your eyes behind your palms and then squeeze them shut open. Squeeze them shut open. Look up, look down, look to the right, to the left. Rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise. And then close them again behind your palms as you bring your palms together in front of your heart. And remember your little positive affirmation. Repeat it to yourself again. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, bow your chin into your chest. Turn the corners of your mouth up to your eyes.